Got up this morning, I saw your face in the mirror. I saw your face in the mirror. I thought you were finally gone, well, gone from my life. But that was my mistake. Your memory still has a clutch on me, clutches me like a fever that's ready to break. So bring it on, bring it on. I hope it won't last long. Bring it on, bring it on. I'll disguise it in another song. I said now, bring it on, bring it on. Well, test me another day. Bring it on.
Take the 20 already.
Please, I want a treat.
Enough with the benevolence. Take the money. It's not like you don't need it.
What, you're too proud? How is the brisket, Pop?
Brisket is brisket. What did you expect me to say? Sherman's is good for coffee or cake, but your mother and I would never go there for a meal.
Last week I brought you schnitzel, and you had something to say about that too. I'm sorry I'm not a better cook, Pop, but I've tried to make...
Stop. First it's the bedroom, now it's the kitchen. No need to overdo the feminine side, son.
Men cook for themselves all the time these days, Pop. Some husbands are way better at it than their wives.
Learn from other men for a change. Be a man.
I learn from anyone and everyone.
You know what I mean. God knows I was your mother's biggest fan, but that doesn't mean you had to try to be like her. Or me, which you certainly aren't. You did the right thing by going to Sherman's. L'chaim. The meal was good.
It's a bit too late trying to win me over now, don't you think?
Don't be a schmuck, Alec. I learn from anyone and everyone. No man goes to a poker game, picks up every single card from the deck, hoping that maybe, just maybe, he'll land a royal flush.
I take what life deals me. I'm not sitting there waiting for the perfect scenario to land in my lap. From my observation, that doesn't happen.
That was a cheap shot.
You kill me with guilt.
I'm sorry we failed you. I'm sorry your childhood wasn't peaches and cream like every other cocksucker out there. What? Cocksucker? You hear the word and you automatically think of yourself. Don't walk away from me. So what? It's something you do. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I never will.
No, you won't. If men think with their dick, then I thank God mine has a mind of its own.
See, it's all about you. Not enough that I fail my son, now I'm inadequate for not being exotic like him.
Exotic? This is not about being exotic. Oh, I can do exotic for a day or two, maybe 3 or 4, but by a week I'm pushing it. This was never a performance, Pop. I'm not doing this for kicks. I'm sorry if I upstaged you.
Your entire lifestyle is exotic. Somewhere along the line, the straight and narrow wasn't good enough for you, was it? Your mother and I seemed like losers to you, didn't we? Embarrassed you in front of your friends, what with their fancy smancy cars and their trips abroad.
You sound like a broken record, Pop.
You don't think I know what was going on inside that head of yours? You had to find a way to stand out.
What?
My first bankruptcy cost me financially only. The second cost our reputation, brought us shame. And by the third, everyone around us had already checked out. There was a time when I thought you still believed in me, but I could see it in your eyes. The way you walked, how you pulled away from me.
Me? Believe in you? I think you got that rule back to front, Pop. Go ask the rabbi about that one. I'm sure he'll vouch for you.
Do you know how many times Henry Ford went broke before he made his fortune? Do you, Alec? Do you? Take an educated guess. 5. I was 2 away.
Of course you were, Pop. 2 cards away from a royal flush, right?
5 cards in a hand. I've got the Jack, the King, and the Ace of Hearts. The 10 and Queen are out there somewhere. It's costing me time and money to keep upping my bets. But the cards are too good to let go of. I can't hold out any longer. I'm maxed out. I fold, and some schmuck wins the game. I'm sorry you thought I was all bluff. I'm sorry I dreamed big for us, for you, for your mother, but mostly for you.
What has this got to do with my love life?
Love life?
And you think I'm the one who believes in fairy tales? You sound 1,000 years old. Maybe you mix business and pleasure, but I don't. What happens to dreams, Pop, when they don't come true? I will not answer to your disappointment. You made me take a real good shot at it. Oh, I tried. But I failed. And unlike you, I didn't keep going back for more punishment, for more humiliation. I gave up the ghost. You may call that giving up, I call that growing up. Well, what is this again? Come on, Pop.
Oi. Since when did you like klezmer?
What does it matter since when? Mother always loved it.
Ah, yes, of course.
Of course.
Your mother liked it, that's what counts. God forbid anything good should come from my side.
That's not what I said, now is it?
No, but it's what you meant.
What does it even matter? You like it. Maybe this is her way of playing peacemaker from the other side.
I never declared war.
You declared war every day, Pop. Every day. That's what you did.
Your mother and I had a wonderful relationship, God rest her soul. She's probably turning in her grave watching all the shenanigans you've gotten up to.
She and I watched you wage war for years. At war with the world, with your past, with your father. Some of the time with her too. You had quite the list.
Blacklisted. It's what's happened to me my entire life.
Things don't happen to us, Pop. We allow them to happen. Well, we do.
Have you convinced yourself yet, Mr. I take what life deals me?
We attract everything that happens to us. Me too.
Even you. How gracious.
choose not to go around wearing my tsuris like a badge.
Now I'm being lectured on responsibility for my own cotton candy son. Not only was I a failure in business, now my marriage to your mother wasn't quite what it was cracked up to be. What's next, huh? That my son's a Faygellehs is my fault too?
Quite the list, Pop.
Stop it with these lists. I'll end up with nightmares. Hello? Sarah, how are you? Pregnant? That's fantastic. Mazel tov. When did you find out? Uh-huh. Well, we'll have to have you both over for some lox and bagels. Uh-huh. Perfect. Next week it is. Mazel tov. Well, isn't that something after all these years?
So much nachas all of a sudden.
I'm happy for them. What? Are you jealous?
You're Mr. Misery all day long with me, but suddenly Ron and Sarah are having a baby and you light up like a menorah.
The psychiatrist was right. You overthink things.
It's the same with weddings, fawning all over yourself just because. There's something not quite kosher about that.
It's a straight thing.
Not anymore, it isn't.
So then what's your big beef about then?
It doesn't seem to matter how well you know the couple or not. You hear the word baby or marriage, and suddenly everything's rosy.
Since when did saying mazel tov become such a crime?
Well, then wish me mazel tov too.
Really?
Surprised?
What, you and Danny? I didn't think marriage was your style.
And what exactly did you think was my style, Pop?
Mazel tov.
Danny and I broke up 2 years ago, Pop.
Screw you leading me into your dog pile like that. You want to humiliate me? Is that it?
I'm just a little curious. Would Alec and Danielle have registered a little bit more, or is it a father-son thing that you tune me out?
I'm not a goddamn mind reader, Alec. You keep everything under lock and key. God forbid I should be prying. It sounded to me like the two of you were still friends.
Friends, but not lovers.
So what do you want me to say then?
I don't want you to say anything, Pop. I want you to hold your tongue for a change and think about why all my relationships are just glorified friendships to you. Men fall in love. It's a fact of life. Far cry from the facts of life you fed me. I remember reading those teen books you gave me, trying to find a way into myself. Hopeless. Martin is a 22-year-old ballet dancer. Stephen has always been flamboyant. The most blatant stereotypes with homosexuality listed under deviances. And you wonder why I wandered the desert for 40 years. But I know myself now. I know how to nourish instead of punish.
Did your mother know this is how you felt?
Actually, she did. You know how straight men are, she told me.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're old school, Pop. Always have been. The world moved on without consulting you or me.
Here, she would want you to have these.
I'm more comfortable taking them. Shouldn't they be for you?
There's no secrets to hide now.
But there were before.
That's not what I meant.
I don't want to be reading about your relationship. That's icky.
Now you know how I feel when you ram it down my throat.
Your words, Pop, not mine.
Take them. You might learn something. And for the record, neither one of us are featured that much. She became quite spiritual, you know. Part of her had moved away long before she checked out on us. Beautiful. Beautiful woman leaving with grace.
You're confusing me.
What's to confuse?
You, Pop. You.
You have a view of me, don't you?
And you of me. I didn't come in on your beam, Pop. I came in on hers.
And now she's gone. And it's just the two of us. I think we should rearrange the furniture.
Wow.
And the diaries, that's just a start. There's a bunch of stuff. Some nice antiques. What am I going to do with them when they could be bringing you some simcha? We were given these as an engagement present. You'll be the one having the dinner parties, not me. Of course you want them. If you schlep them, they're yours.
You're ready to offload a bit. I like it.
What's not to like?
Okay, I'll help you.
And I'm going to get rid of that old table and put a proper poker table in there.
You sound like a single man.
Well, I am.
What matters is that you do it for yourself, Pop, not to please me.
The I generation. Look who's sounding moralistic now.
Let me tell you something about the moral high ground, Pop.
With that attitude, I'm not sure if you can.
Scour the underbelly and you're no longer just peering at the surface, but through it.
But how low do you need to go?
Depends on the level of idol worship you were raised in. Mine seemed extraordinarily high, forcing me to go deep.
Doesn't it exhaust you, all this turning everything on its head?
Better than being exhausted from pretend living.
Seems everyone's a pretender to you. Did I raise you with such naivety? The world is a mirage. Yes, even Rabbi Freeman will testify to that. So maybe you got exactly what you needed then, since you've worked it out now.
You sound like a lawyer, Pop.
I admit, I've made a bunch of mistakes. My biggest one, apparently, was not letting you do the same. Because if I had, everything would be hunky-dory right now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If you could just get past your pride for once. I mean, you can spin things however you want. But all you have to do, all you've ever had to do, is to drop that suit of armor. And all the time you've been staring back at me with skepticism. Pride and Prejudice. Jane Austen would have a field day.
In every chapter, I'm the terrible father and you the troubled son. Are we going to come up with something more interesting than that?
Okay, fire away.
What, you're not convinced? So you're just as fixed in your attitude to me as you think I am in mine to you. So, what do we do, wise son? Tell me.
I don't know. I don't actually know.
I think we might actually be getting somewhere.
Well, don't make the same mistake. I'm past happy endings. That was the false premise in the first place.
Every time there's a little wiggle room, I feel it being snatched away.
How ironic.
This constant back and forth, it's very Jewish.
Well, that we are.
All these boyfriends, and you're lucky if one knows what gefilte fish even looks like.
I've shared plenty of matzo ball soup, Pop.
Matzo balls, schmatzo balls. Unless you're a complete wasp, everybody knows of matzo ball soup.
They know how I love to nosh.
Knowing isn't doing, now is it?
I don't need them to eat lox and pudding just because I do.
Maybe sometimes you do, Alec. Maybe sometimes you do. You'll jump on their sushi trail or settle for chicken pot pie in a heartbeat. But you don't want to hear that any more than I want to hear you mock me.
Food for thought, Pop.
Smart aleck.
So, let's eat, since it's going to heal all of our woes.
You toss the baby out with the bathwater, son. No wonder you feel like you've wandered the desert.
Huh?
Don't speak, just eat. Action speaks louder than words, so I'm told. Your mother and I know how we love to eat. Listen, it's a fact. You come from the I generation. Your mother and I, we came from the us generation. We didn't have to personalize every statement like you, but we understood what it was to get personal.
There you go again. Mom is dead. Gone almost 4 years now. Don't you think it's about time you change your lexicon and spoke in the singular?
What? A play on words? Is that what you want? Give me a break. I already told you I wanted to move the furniture.
This is more than musical chairs, Pop.
Doesn't the I word seem a little lonely to you?
What I want is to talk to you, not some perpetuated shop front of your marriage. You cling more to her now that she's gone. Why is that?
Why?
Yes, why?
I feel like some LOX.
I'm trying to make a point and you're talking about LOX?
Oh, forgive me. I feel like some LOX. And by the way, stop trying to make a point. That's what makes your I generation so goddamn unattractive. The art of disguise. You manipulate the conversation to force me into the reaction you want, making it out to be my own independent thought. Well, son, I've got news for you. Your so-called independent thinking is just as conformist today as the couple's thinking in my day.
But it is no longer your day now, is it?
Arrogant schmuck.
Mazel tov, you're pissed off and you can think it's with me, that's fine.
LOX. Enough with the martyrdom. What, you're some kind of shrink now? I don't see no goddamn degree. Your mother and I always wanted you to get your degree, but you had to put the kibosh on that too, by going off to find yourself.
Don't kid yourself, Pop. You should try it. Mum did. If she were here right now, she'd be opening up the windows to let in some fresh air. Remember when she was ailing, how the sounds of the birds would lift her spirits? Even the stir of a breeze. The more she surrendered, the more beauty she noticed, until one day she could let go of it all and be at peace. You're still grieving, aren't you?
A lox and cream cheese bagel. I need a lox and cream cheese bagel.
You're out of LOX, Pop.
Your mother was never out of LOX. Never.
We'll go buy some LOX, Pop, shall we?
Track a moonbeam around a falling star. So many broken hearts, but do you know who you are? So many empty streets, so many traffic lights. Well, is there anything that could make it all right? Well, so many places I come and go. I'm so far down that road. I can't turn back, can't change my mind. It's gotta come soon. Well, it's my time. So many days gone by, so many roads before. I wonder what would happen if I showed up at your door. The seasons change, the years go by. Still there's no one waiting by my side. Well, so many places I come and go. I'm so far down that road. I can't turn back, can't change my mind. It's gotta come soon. It's my time. Track a moonbeam, ride a falling star. Well, so many broken hearts, but do you know who you are? Well, so many places I come and go. I'm so far down that road. I can't turn back, can't change my mind. It's gotta come soon. It's my time.